How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys Fan, are you down to ride? Angry Cowboys Fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I have to give my perspective on the topic that the crew of the facility covered today. On today's episode of The Facility, Emmanuel Acho, Chase Daniel, James Jones, and Shady McCoy discussed the topic, if Dak's best playing years are behind him. Y'all know, even though Dak is injured, they still got to pay the bills over at FS1 some way, so Dak is going to remain the topic of discussion. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to what the crew of the facility had to say.
He needs weapons around him. You see that now. So now you go build and you put weapons around him. You got CeeDee Lamb, great player. Get him a running game. Get him a number 2 wide receiver, a good number 2 wide receiver. You have a good tight end and put a good solid offensive line in front of him and a good defense. We found out this year that Dak Prescott is one of those quarterbacks that needs a bunch of weapons around him. And with a bunch of weapons around him, he can put up those all-pro numbers like he did last year. That's why I think this is good for the Dallas Cowboys, because you learned that we can't be cheap no more in free agency, because Dak Prescott cannot cover up some of these woes that we have in our roster. He cannot do that. So now you got to go build a roster, and I think Dak Prescott's best days are in front of him with the right amount of talent around him.
You know, Cowboys Nation, one thing that I do not understand when it comes to Dak Prescott is, why is it such a bad thing for a quarterback to need the correct pieces around him? Why do some Cowboys fans, or people who aren't Dallas Cowboys fans, think that Dak Prescott should have to lift this team without the appropriate help from his team? Whenever I say that Dak Prescott needs help, people will quickly jump on the fact of what Dak Prescott is scheduled to make next year. You know, I don't give a shit what he's going to make next year, Cowboys Nation. Any quarterback needs help from their organization, on some real talk. Jumping into the second clip, Shady McCoy continues to be the contrarian and talks about how Dak Prescott has had great pieces around him, but he's still unable to get the team over the hump. So let's take a listen to what he had to say and then come back and talk about it. Roll the clip.
All I'm saying is this, though. So that's true.
Yeah.
But we gave you that. We gave you a strong defense that scored a lot of points. We gave you a defense that get picks and they get turnovers. They get sacks.
Yeah.
They gave you on defense. Offense. We give you CeeDee Lamb. We give you a running back in Pollard, Pro Bowl guy. We give you a solid offensive line, right? We give you a number 2, Brandon Cooks is good everywhere else. We give you that. Because you asked for it, right? He asked for this?
Did.
We gave it to you. What did you give us?
I gave
a first-round exit to the youngest inexperienced team in the playoffs.
But one of those years,
and got blew out.
But one of those years, I gave you 12 wins and a playoff win, too.
That's all we gonna get, James.
No, but what I'm saying is,
you hear what I'm saying? You asked for that, and we give it to you, and you talking about.
But what I'm saying is it's not too many quarterbacks just walking into these playoffs winning neither, though. You know what I'm saying?
But you said, if you give us this, James, we gonna get all this other great stuff.
But I'm not saying that you give him this, he's just gonna take you to the Super Bowl.
All right. Shady McCoy said that the Dallas Cowboys gave Dak Prescott an elite defense last year. A defense that had takeaways and had fumbles, but couldn't stop the damn run. A defense that couldn't get off the field and generate 3 and outs. A defense that gave up 272 yards and 3 touchdowns against Jordan Love's arm. That's not to mention how many touchdowns they gave up to the running back, Aaron Jones. Did Dak Prescott's interceptions help? Hell no, they didn't help. But people, including Shady McCoy, will talk as if Dak is the only problem that the Dallas Cowboys have, and if we get rid of him, we are Super Bowl bound. I swear, Cowboys Nation, the delusion runs deep in some people. So going into the final clip I got for you, the crew duels over the topic, and Shady doubles down on the fact that Dak has had a lot of help when it comes to trying to achieve the goal of a Super Bowl victory. So let's take a listen so we can come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Cowboys Nation, Let's take a listen to the crew of the facility.
I know we all want to see, and we cannot get out of our heads how he's looked in the playoffs. Me too. But at the same time, Dak Prescott is still a really good quarterback. With the right pieces around him, he still can play at a really high level.
Agreed.
So,
not saying that.
So that's what I'm saying. So better days be.
Will he have better days? You feel me? I'm not saying he can't still play at a high level, but I'm saying, like, remember, Dak is thrown. I don't know if I see Dak throwing for 40 touchdown passes, because that would be a better day.
Who is, though? Not a lot of people nowadays.
He has 11 touchdowns in 8 games this year, though.
I understand.
Right?
And he's been playing weak this year.
This is one other thing. Y'all keep talking about all this extra help. I hate when I keep hearing that. You making $60 million a year, dog.
But he showed you he's not that dude, though, Shady.
Hold on for a second, though. So one thing is, 11 touchdowns in 8 games, that's not good.
That's not good.
Okay, it's not good, right? Another thing is, you keep talking all this extra help. You've had a lot of help, Dak, and the best you got me was a loss in the playoffs the first round.
You know what, Cowboys Nation? Let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all ready for my raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. What fan in their right mind will want their quarterback to do everything on his own? I know for a fact I don't. I want the Dallas Cowboys to be filled with nothing but dogs. I want dogs at every specialty position as much as possible. I don't want our quarterback to have to do everything on his own. I don't want our quarterback to have to mask the issues that the team has, because that means that the issues will not get resolved. The culture issues in Dallas will never be resolved because our quarterback can mask them. That's not how team sports works, Cowboys Nation. That's not how you sustain long-term success. Yeah, it may work for the immediate future, but to stay on top like a Patrick Mahomes or a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen, you have to have a great culture in the organization and dogs to help you win the game. I don't care what type of illusion some people are living in, but Patrick Mahomes is not doing well statistically this year, but his team remains undefeated. When Patrick Mahomes throws an interception, his team helps bail him out of that situation. His defense stands up and makes plays necessary to get the ball back into his hands with minimal damage. Also, why is it that Dak Prescott always is compared to the best of the best, especially when people don't even think that his talent compares to those players? Why is he always compared to players like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes when people that are doing the comparison don't even believe in his talent like that? It gives them something to bitch about, Cowboys Nation. Their football season wouldn't be complete without being able to bitch and complain about something. Some people sit back and wait for him to screw up just so that they can have something to complain about. I'm sorry, but that's not how I root for my team. That's not how I watch football, waiting for a disaster to strike so I can say, I told you so. I don't even do that when Dak Prescott's hurt and Cooper Rush is in the game. I root them on as well. I will acknowledge when the experiment needs to end. Right now, Dak is entering his prime, and it would be a waste of talent to expect this man to do everything on his own. But I want to talk about what Shady and some of Cowboys Nation talk about. That the Dallas Cowboys gave Dak Prescott this world-beating team last year, and we lost to the youngest team in the NFL. Who are the world beaters on this team last year? CeeDee Lamb? Micah Parsons? To my recollection, Micah Parsons only recorded 1 solo sack and 1 quarterback hit during the Green Bay Packers game. CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup recorded over 100 yards receiving, but by then it was too late. Other than those players, how many rushing yards did the Dallas Cowboys have during that game? 123 yards altogether, right? Aaron Jones alone almost covered that spread with 118 yards himself. But people will list players like Jason Witten or Dez Bryant, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Ezekiel Elliott as if they played on the same roster together for years. Dak had an aging Jason Witten at the end of his career. He had Dez Bryant for only 2 years, but who accompanied him during those 2 years. In 2016, the receiving core was Cole Beasley, Terrence Williams, Bryce Butler, Jason Witten, and Lucky Whitehead. Cole Beasley had more receiving yards than Dez Bryant that year. But you know, it's funny to me how some people will dumb down their expectations and claim a player to be elite without having elite stats. As much as I like Brendan Cooks, he's not an elite talent, Cowboys Nation. As a matter of fact, how many times has Brandon Cooks been to a Pro Bowl or been an All-Pro throughout his career? Not once, Cowboys Nation. Wouldn't you think that an elite talent would at least have one Pro Bowl appearance? But people are talking as if the team the Dallas Cowboys had last year should have easily made it to the NFC Championship. But there were real football fans out there that were trying to tell the delusional fans just to dumb down your expectations a little bit last year. I hoped for the Dallas Cowboys. I hoped that the Dallas Cowboys could do something with what they had, but the inefficiencies were uncovered during the Green Bay Packers game. Everyone's inefficiencies were uncovered, but for some reason, Dak's the reason why we lost the game. Dak is the reason why we lose every damn game, apparently. Y'all didn't know, Cowboys Nation? We're just a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl. But one narrative that I hate is that the Dallas Cowboy quarterback, whomever it is supposed to bring whatever team that they have to work with to a Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys quarterback has to fight against his own team shortcomings to get them to a championship. The quarterback is supposed to take whatever secondhand players that Jerry Jones decides to sign and make them champions. If he doesn't, he sucks. Never mind that the talent around him is subpar. If he can't lift said talent to a Super Bowl, he apparently sucks. This is the reason that if I was a talented quarterback heading into the draft, I wouldn't want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. For one, the owner won't work with the quarterback to get him great players. Two, some of the fans are super ungrateful. If you can't meet their demands in their time frame, they become ungrateful and they become slanderous. They will root against you just to prove a point. They will celebrate when you get injured, and they will campaign against you getting your money that you deserve. If Shedeur Sanders was smart, he wouldn't touch this organization with a 10-foot pole, and his father shouldn't either, because if they fall short, some in Cowboys Nation will treat them the way they treated Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. So to answer the topic of the facility, I don't think Dak Prescott's best years are behind him. I believe that if Jerry Jones stops shopping in the clearance aisle for players and becomes more aggressive in free agency, I believe Dak Prescott could help lead this team to a championship. I truly believe last year we were 2 dogs at the defensive tackle and 2 dogs at the linebacker position away from a championship appearance. We would have been able to stop the run, hence being able to slow the bleeding down. So let's stop thinking that it's all on the quarterback to lead us to the promised land. Every single quarterback in this league needs a great supporting cast. Even Patrick Mahomes, even Lamar Jackson, and even Josh Allen. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. I know I'm going to have some contrarians in my comment section spouting off the same talking points that come from Stephen A. Smith or Shady McCoy. So I'll turn to my true football fans to have this conversation with. Do you think that Dak Prescott is regressing? Do you think that he has what it takes to help this team to a championship? Y'all know what we doing. Let's go ahead and talk about it in the comment section. But if you're digging the video and want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on this video and share it with whoever you know is a Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and you believe that Dak Prescott has what it takes to help this team make it to a championship, if given the right pieces, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or Madden 25 and College Football 25 gameplay. The delusion in some fans is astonishing, Cowboys Nation. To think the Dallas Cowboys are just a quarterback away from a Super Bowl appearance and victory is the true definition of delusion. This team has way more problems than just the quarterback. If you feel it's just the quarterback, you might just dislike your quarterback. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.